Today, we're going to go over sandwich tips. Thanks, Catherine Burns on Facebook, for giving us this recommendation. Larry and Kyle, we certainly have not forgotten about you guys, and we'll be getting to sauces and some soups later on in the next month. So let's go to sandwiches really quick. Most important thing about sandwiches, first thing, texture. Check how fancy that is. Not even PowerPoint, wrote it myself. Texture, starting with the bread you have, going to the interior of your sandwich. So you want to have some crunch, unless it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and even then you can still have your crunch and your nuts, whether or not it's peanut butter or almond butter, whatever you prefer. So texture is really big. You want to have a really high quality bread. You want to have some crispness, especially when you're working with vegetables, and nothing too soggy. So that would be a really big insult on your sandwich to have a soggy tomato or stuff like that. So going into more tips on texture, start with your bread. When you are making your sandwich, you want to make sure that you have different textures involved. So something creamy, you can use a cheese, a vegan cheese, what have you. It could be a veggie burger even, and then something that's going to offset that, like a crispy bread or even an iceberg lettuce. A lot of people don't use iceberg lettuce because it's kind of the crappy lettuce. It's full of water. It doesn't really have any taste. I agree. I completely am insulted with an iceberg lettuce salad. However, I'm a big fan of iceberg lettuce on sandwiches when the interior of the sandwich really needs a crunch. Say I'm doing some type of sandwich on a bun. It could be a veggie burger or something like that, where the veggie burger doesn't necessarily have crunch. It has more of a smooth texture, but I'm looking for that crunch that I'm not going to get through anything else. Not a tomato, not an avocado, and that's where iceberg lettuce really comes in handy. Of course, you can use romaine. If romaine is, your choice, that's great. Going on to other things with your sandwiches that are really important. Condiments. Biggest thing is, one, don't use too many. You're not going to taste much in your sandwich, but definitely spread everything on your sandwich, on the bread. So make sure that every bite is going to have that condiment. Now, in terms of transportability, your textures and your condiments are going to have to be possibly arranged in a different way for your sandwich to be able to be transported. And depending on how long it's going to sit there, whether it's at work, you work a 9 to 5, and you're not going to be able to eat your sandwich for 4 hours, definitely have something between your bread and your condiment that's not going to let your bread get soggy. You can pre-toast your bread. That's going to change it. You can use a harder bread. You can use like a baguette or something like that. But oftentimes, what I do is I'll put a layer of lettuce down, then tomato, then a condiment, then things that produce moisture in the middle where they're not touching the bread and making them soggy. So those are some of my tips on sandwiches. Of course, we're going to have a ton of sandwiches here at the deli when we're open, and that should be in early May. Fingers crossed, send good vibes out to us. And that's about it. Don't be scared to use different ingredients on your sandwiches. Make a white bean hummus, use a tapenade. Go beyond your regular mayonnaise and mustard for your condiments. You can use capers. This is a great time of year to also add fresh herbs to your sandwiches. We're basically experiencing summer weather already, and it's just, what month is it? It's March. It's unseasonably warm. But definitely thyme, basil, things like that are really good. Lemon zest is a really good addition. You can put it in your mayonnaise or your tapenade or anything like that you're adding to your sandwich. Just definitely make sure you have condiments that are fully spread, and then also the texture of your sandwich is something that you like. If you don't use bread, I do want to give a shout out. Certainly you can use romaine lettuce. You can use even grilled eggplant in lieu of bread. So we're working on a recipe for fritas, actually, where we don't use bread, but we use eggplant instead. So keeping the carbs out. But anyway, hope you're enjoying your weekend. Have a great Frita Friday, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.